half in the bag. Get this crap off my writing desk.
Ah, Jay, another day, another year of movies.
That's right, Mike. It's May, the sun's coming out, and we have a whole slew of movies ready to be released that everyone will forget about in a week.
That's right, Jay. I'm very excited about the forgettable new film, King Arthur. I can't wait to see it so that I could immediately forget about it.
I'm gonna forget the shit out of that one.
Oh my God, I've already forgotten it, and I haven't even forgotten to see it.
Speaking of forgetting, don't forget about Wonder Woman, in theaters June 2nd. Finally, we get to hear the backstory of a character that was briefly introduced in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
What the fuck?
Mr. Plinkett, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I'm auditioning for one of those YouTube shows where a panel of people get together and they talk about movies.
What? People talk about movies on YouTube? How fucking lame.
Yeah, that's so embarrassing.
Ugh.
Yeah, they told me they got enough fat white guys with beards, token black people, and at least one hot woman who wears large hipster glasses.
So, why do they need you?
They said that the only demo that they need a voice from is the elderly. Yeah, they want to open up the untapped 75+ demo on YouTube. They say it'll increase their revenue by 0.08%.
Well, I think that's great, Mr. Plinkett. It's good to see you try new things, especially at your age.
Problem is, the last movie I saw was, ironically, The Last Picture Show in 1971. Oh, I had such a crush on Jeff Bridges.
Well, don't worry about it, Mr. Plinkett. All you really have to do is go see a movie and give your honest and true opinion on what you thought.
Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. You see, the studio has something called talking points that they need me to address. Yeah, here, let me show you what I mean. Let me practice here. All right. Johnny Depp returns to the big screen as the iconic swashbuckling anti-hero Jack Sparrow in the all-new Pirate of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh my God, he's terrible. Just terrible.
It's a little monotone.
Yeah.
When the deadly ghost sailors led by the terrifying Captain Salazar, Javier Bardem, escaped.
It's so boring, I feel like I'm watching Blade Runner.
At sea, notably Jack, I love this movie. It was a swashbuckling good time.
Well, it kind of sounds like you're reading it.
They told me they'd fix it with auto-tune.
Yeah, maybe you should do it with just a little more excitement, like you're really excited about the movie.
A little more excitement. All right, I can try that. All right, here we go. Set to the all-new sonic backdrop of awesome mixtape number 2, Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 continues the team's adventures as they...
Oh shit, that's right. Guardians 2 came out today. Oh, Jay, let's go watch it and talk about how much we loved it.
Oh my God, I can't wait. It's my favorite movie of the summer.
Let's go.
Comics will come to our heroes' aid as the Marvel Cinematic Universe continues to expand. What do you think? Guys! Wow, I knocked him dead. I'm gonna get the part.
So here we are, a thief, one thug, an assassin, a maniac, and an angry little tree.
Hold on.
Everyone's favorite heroes are back. The Guardians of the Galaxy? Nope. Marvel fanboy shills Mike and Jay. Witness their amazing powers of liking a movie that's fun and likable. Marvel at their ability to do nothing but hate on DC while sucking Marvel's dick. Be amazed that they seem to enjoy movies sometimes that are enjoyable, while disliking other movies that are a huge fucking mess. It's time for Guardians of the Galaxies Volume 2. Mike, what did you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
Well, Jay, I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but before we talk about that, I need to address something to our audience. In a recent video we did reviewing The Mist, we made a clerical error.
Oh, yes.
We used a clip of actor Sam Witwer's Palpatine impression. We took this clip from a video that we found on YouTube. Now apparently, this was not him doing the voice, and it was a different actor. The clip and the Internet Movie Database were both incorrect, and we used the information. We'd like to apologize for this grievous error. Sam Witwer's Palpatine impression is actually much worse. Well, back to our review. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
By the way, it's not in the movie, but there was either a trailer or a TV spot where there's a joke in it that isn't in the final movie, where I think it's the Nebula character confuses the name of the group and she calls it Gardens of the Galaxy.
A garden of the galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Why would we be the Gardens of the Galaxy?
That was our fucking joke in our review of the first movie.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gardens of the Galaxy?
Gardens
I would
of
watch
the
that
Galaxy.
movie.
Yeah.
It's just a movie about people going across the universe and planting gardens.
It stars Martha Stewart.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. That's true, I remember that.
I say if James Gunn is going to steal from us, he should take better jokes.
James Gunn doesn't need to steal from us. In fact, it's better that he doesn't.
I don't know, he's struggling. He's struggling to make it in Hollywood.
He is struggling to make like a finely crafted, fun adventure movie that's witty and charismatic and enjoyable to watch.
Is this, maybe someone, if not you, someone can correct me. Is this the only movie in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe that has like a writer-director where it's the same person that kind of is involved in the entire creative process? I think it might be.
Yeah, James Gunn writes the script?
Yeah, he wrote the first one, he wrote this one, and he directs them.
Not even a co-writer, just...
There was a co-writer on the first one, but I think that was like a first draft, and then he came in and rewrote most of it.
Oh.
And then he wrote this one on his own too, so.
Well, I hope this movie has the most success humanly possible, because what we don't need are 19 screenwriters and a tonally inconsistent mess.
Right. You want a movie that shifts between a lot of tones, but feels like there's someone behind it that knows what the fuck they're doing, which this movie does really well.
I think I like this better than the first one.
I was actually a little concerned for the first maybe like half hour.
Huh? No, Trent! Wait a minute! Run!
Where it kind of felt like, it almost felt to me like when a sequel is made and a different creative team comes in, like different writer and director, and is just doing their hardest to recapture what made the first one special, where it's like there's almost too many jokes, this is almost too silly at the beginning, and everybody, you know, all these characters are doing their thing that we're familiar with in the first one, like almost to a fault. But then it smooths out and gets going, and turns out to be way more character-driven than plot-driven, which I really appreciated.
That's what makes this a good sequel. I was thinking about it while watching it, and I'm like, what are some really good sequels? Like Empire Strikes Back, you know, like I'm not talking about like The Godfather Part 2. I'm talking more like sci-fi fantasy kind of movies. And you got like the second Spider-Man film was good.
Yeah.
Not the
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Not the Andrew Garfield one.
Remember the Rhino?
Good boy, huh?
And that's why I like this one better than the first one, because the first Guardians had, you know, all the great characters. It set up all the characters, it was a good origin story, but then towards the end, I can't really remember the end. I remember shooting at spaceships in the sky.
The third act is the weakest part, yeah.
Yeah,
And the
and
plot is almost like inconsequential. It's just about getting these characters together.
That's the thing, is that this one, instead of, which is what I was worried, that it was just like wacky lines, funny characters, and then we got to shoot at this thing, and it incorporated the bad guy plot and everything. It beefed up the characters.
Yes.
And that's what, you know, like your Empire Strikes Back, movies like that did.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we have to blow up another thing in the second one. It was, let's take these characters and beef them up. And it went with the character arcs almost to a fault in this one, but I really enjoyed that. And I was actually enjoying it more than any of the Avengers movies or any previous Marvel movies I'd seen, because all these characters, they're so different and weird, and they all have these like flaws and problems with each other, and there's so much like, there's a lot of interdynamics going on, because you got the two girls, Gamora and Nebula.
Yes.
And they have the past, they're sisters, and then you got the rodent, and he's basically admits
the
that
trash
he's
panda, as they call him.
trash panda. He basically admits he's just filled with insecurities, and you have all these like wonderful little angles.
Now, whatever you do, don't push this button. because that will set off the bomb immediately and we'll all be dead. Now, repeat back what I just said.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No!
Yeah, it's almost like it's hard to complain about because it all works really well, but it seems like James Gunn loves these characters so much that he has to put like everyone in and everyone has to have something to do, like the Nebula stuff, the sister dynamic stuff, like probably could have gotten rid of that, just get that character out of the movie.
I like that stuff.
I mean, it's fine. I don't like Nebula. Like, I think performance-wise, that's the worst performance in the movie. I don't want to call it bad, but it's the weakest performance of the movie. She's very one-note.
Maybe. For some reason, I like that storyline. I like the budding romance between Gamora and Peter Quill. And they even poke fun at the fact that it is like a Cheers or Jim and Pam from The Office. It's like a thing where it's like, yeah, once we get together, then we lose the ratings, you know.
They mentioned Cheers. They mentioned Sam and Diane. He didn't mention Jim and Pam.
No, I'm mentioning that.
Okay, I was just thinking because James Gunn used to be married to Pam, so I thought
yeah.
I thought that'd be funny if they referenced it.
So we're saving the galaxy again? Well, who else is gonna do it?
The Guardians cannot protect the galaxy.
So yeah, the general premise, I guess doesn't matter.
Well, I will say
it's more interesting than MacGuffin. I
oh
like
yeah,
it.
no, that's what I was going to say. Like the plot in the first one is sort of inconsequential. It's like whatever, we're just an excuse to get these people together. Infinity Stones,
It's
Marvel,
loosely tied to the Marvel universe.
And this one, it's weird, but it also works on an emotional level. And it's like the first time in a decade of Marvel making these movies where the villain is actually interesting.
Yes.
The villain is always the weakest part of all these stupid Marvel movies. The villain and the way he relates to our main characters is interesting, and it drives his motivation and it drives the story.
And they
like a movie.
Yes, and they beefed up a somewhat background character. The theme of fatherhood and all that.
Yondu was my favorite part of the movie. I love Michael Rooker. It's nice to see him like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer in this big, blockbuster Marvel movie, and his performance is great.
But I really like the fact that they didn't have to lean on the Marvel universe as a crutch, because they're the Guardians of the Galaxy. The film opens, they're doing their own thing. They're like basically work for hire, contract killers, or they're doing something, and this very advanced society has hired them to stop an intergalactic slime monster from eating their very powerful batteries. And you're like, well, okay. And that's the opening kind of action sequence, and then the plot kind of progresses, and then the real emotional core of the movie is, of course, Peter finding his father. And we're not going to get into spoilers, but the movie hit lots of marks for me, with the exception of Baby Groot, which didn't really need a character arc, although he did have one.
Everyone gets a character arc. No one's left behind.
No one's left behind. It gives plenty of screen time for all the characters, and then it squeezes in all the...
Without feeling bloated.
Without feeling bloated.
Which is kind of the most amazing part. I couldn't believe when we got out that the movie was over 2 hours long. It really didn't feel like it.
Yeah, well, the end credits are 20 minutes of that.
Wow, that's true. 15 mid-credit sequences.
Yeah. The only thing that felt slightly out of place, and I'm assuming it's a setup for another film, is the Sylvester Stallone stuff.
Yeah. He shows up for like 5 seconds, and then he's in a mid-credit sequence, so I guess that's a setup. But even with that, because I assumed early on he's in one scene, he has some beef with Michael Rooker, and then he leaves, and I was like, oh, I guess that's probably a character for another movie, and that was going to be it. But even he gets a payoff at the end. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets a payoff, like a movie.
Yeah, it's probably because there was one screenwriter who sat down and wrote a script instead of 5-10 people all throwing in ideas. You got to put this in there. You got to put this in there.
Yeah,
and that's a true testament to the screenwriting art. Pablo Picasso did not have 6 guys in suits going like this with brushes on his painting. He's like, get out of here! Just to fuck away from your paintings. Put a little flower over here. Can you imagine Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel, and then
all these guys with glasses coming up.
Disney suits guys come up with like cherry pickers. And they're like, What are you doing? You ruined my ceiling.
Studies have shown that people will enjoy this more if everybody's smiling.
Right. What if God was not touching that finger of man? What if they were just high-fiving? Market research suggests high fives appeal to all demographics.
And we don't want to alienate non-religious people, so can it not be God?
Yes. Can it just be some kind of androgynous entity? Maybe a giant Coke can. You wanted to replace the God with the Coke can? That's movie making today.
It's true, yeah. Everything's replaced by a giant Coke can.
I'm Groot.
What's that? He says, welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy.
I would say as a negative, a minor negative, I think James Gunn relies a little too much on the serious dramatic moments and then undercut with a joke. He does that, I mean, it's in the first movie a few times, but it's in it a lot in this. Well, I think what works better, and he does this throughout the movie too, especially there's a speech by Peter Quill at the end of the movie, where it's not like something dramatic happening and then a joke, where it's sort of something dramatic is happening, but there's humorous elements to it as well. And James Gunn's done that, throughout his whole career, Super, and even go back to like Romeo and Juliet. And I think that stuff works better, where it's almost like a bittersweet humor mixed with the drama, as opposed to dramatic moment, joke.
Yeah.
And it works sometimes. It was just a little too. It was happening so often where I was starting to just like anticipate it.
I don't know. I found myself thoroughly enjoying this film, and I think it's going to stick with me more in my memory than the first one, which is a good sign, because I like the main premise of it. It's just really like weird and interesting and sort of like, it's sad and strange, and like I don't remember the end of the first one. And I would imagine that's like, maybe James Gunn was poked a little, don't do something too weird.
Sure.
We need the ships at the end flying around and explosions. And this, it seemed like maybe there was a little more creative freedom. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely pumps up the emotional elements with this one, as far as the character. I mean, the last shot of the movie, before the 15 mid-credit sequences, is a close-up of a CGI raccoon humanoid hybrid, like with a tear in his eye. And it works. It works great.
Look out!
Oh, wow. I tried, guys.
I love all the makeup and costumes. I love the gold people. That's so cool.
Visually, yeah, they're neat.
And I like that idea of this like society that's just like almost achieved 100% perfection, except for unrolling the little thing. Like little touches like that are what make these movies wonderful.
Right.
Like little jokes where it's able to laugh at itself. It's not like, I don't know.
Laugh at itself while still taking like the characters seriously and keeping the threat serious.
And who the hell are you?
I'm your dad, Peter.
His father is Ego, the living planet, played by Kurt Russell. Played great by Kurt Russell. He's awesome in this. It's Kurt Russell.
He's all right.
But I was thinking, I'm surprised you haven't brought up Star Trek yet, because that whole kind of storyline kind of felt to me like a Star Trek episode where they land on some weird planet and there's like a humanoid planet.
There's an episode called Who Mourns for Adonis.
Okay.
Where they land on the planet and Apollo is there, the Greek god.
I am Apollo.
The crew of the Enterprise fight the Greek god and defeat him.
Oh, okay.
He's literally a Greek god.
What's he doing in space?
All the Greek gods left Earth. And it's so awesome. But that kind of plot is very, very Star Trek-ish.
I was thinking once Kurt Russell starts to try and like seduce Peter Quill to the dark side, very Star Wars-y. It would have been nice to see a little more with him kind of struggling with that, or him. It felt like it happened very quick once he started to kind of reveal that he's evil. It would have been nice to see maybe Peter Quill get seduced a little more. His friends have to come and sort of snap him out of it or something. But
yeah, more of a courting. Walking around, kind of like saying, "Here's my thing."
It kind of all happened in one quick scene.
Yeah.
And why the fuck would Kurt Russell, if he's trying to get him to join him, why would he reveal that he put a tumor in his mom's brain?
I think that just slipped out. But yeah, he should have kind of walked him around a little and been like, "Hey, listen, here's the thing. We're pretty much like gods."
Yeah. And Peter Quill is blinded by the fact that he's finally been reunited with his father, and
we're gonna do this thing where we kind of slowly take over the universe. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a little more
And it's hard to complain too much because to do that you'd have to maybe eliminate some of the side stories, but all the side stories are good and interesting on their own, and they all end up connecting. Nothing feels out of place.
Die, spaceship!
Yeah, I mean, there's fat. There's the part where Rocket and I keep wanting to call her Nova. It's Nebula.
Nebula.
Where Rocket and Nebula are on the ship, and all the guys are coming to get them.
Yeah.
And so there's this very long sequence where Rocket takes them all out single-handedly, almost.
Yeah.
And that stuff like that.
It's a fun sequence, though.
It is. It's a great sequence, of course, but you could have just had right behind him, done. The point would have been made, and then you could have.
I think but they probably didn't want to eliminate the action sequences from their action Marvel movies. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I know, but tighten up some stuff. It's just it's 98% there. It's almost perfect as far as a fun, weird space adventure film with weird characters that you like.
Well, speaking of action sequences, my favorite part of the movie was I was very surprised to see so much murder in one scene with Yondu and Rocket, where they take out all the bad Ravagers. And so many people just get straight up murdered in that scene. I was surprised by that.
And all the bodies falling.
And that's another thing I'll say, speaking of, because that shot is in the trailer of all the bodies falling. And I think this is a stronger movie from a directing visual standpoint than the first one. It feels more confident. There's some really striking images. There's a part when Gamora gets upset about something when they're on Ego's planet, and she goes off and she's kind of sulking by herself, and it's just this wide shot, and she's in the far left of the frame, and it's just really pretty.
And don't forget Taserface, the whole plot line.
Even Taserface has a little bit of an arc.
Yeah. Everyone's making fun of him for his name up until the bitter end. He betrays everyone.
And this is different than we've talked about, movies where the characters, they kind of just give them things to do because the movie feels like it has to give them something to do.
Star Trek.
Like Star Trek, the Star Trek films.
Except when they force a romance between Spock and Uhura for absolutely no reason.
We gotta have romance, I guess.
They're big characters.
This is a movie where...
What is Spock, gay? No, he's just a weird, emotionless Vulcan. That doesn't mean he's gay. He's gay!
Well, my point being, there's movies like that where it's they just give them filler, basically, things to do.
Yes.
Because they're characters that so they have to have something to do. And here's a movie, everybody has something to do, and everybody has an arc, and it all is connected, and it all feels useful and appropriate for the story.
You know what also had an arc? The first Indiana Jones film.
What was the arc? Oh,
So disappointed.
Damn it!
Hold on.
These movies are something special, and it's gonna suck when they start to incorporate the Guardians of the Galaxy with the Avengers shit.
Yeah, I'm happy with this way the Guardians movies are going, and I don't even want to watch Infinity Gem War, the movie.
But we're finally gonna get to see what Thanos is capable of. They've been dragging that shit out for so long. How could anyone care about Thanos anymore?
I don't. I care about fun, interesting characters that are likable.
Yeah.
And
where you root for the situation because you want to see these characters succeed.
And weird plot lines. I'm very excited about Thor Ragnarok. We should mention that real quick. I guess somebody listened to Rich Evans saying Planet Hulk would be a great movie.
Yeah.
Or me relaying what Rich told me about Planet Hulk. I'm like, that sounds great. Instead of villain of the week or blue laser shooting up into the sky, opening a dimensional portal where things fly through, and we gotta stop all the things. Well, why? Because we gotta stop them.
How do we stop them? We shoot them and beat them. We work together as a team.
Yeah, so I'm liking that they seem to be like it's like steering a gigantic ship. It's like, I mean, DC's heading towards the iceberg, but the Marvel ship is sort of moving a little. And we should talk about the incorporation of the music. There's that part where Rocky Raccoon says, hey, blue guy with the thing on your head. Yondu, do you have any of Peter's music in your archives? Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, so play the song while we murder everyone. And then, so it's like his mixtape. It might eventually get old, but the contrast with like these old kind of 70s, early 80s pop songs playing with like these weird space visuals. Yeah. It doesn't feel gimmicky or stupid like when they use the Beatles and song in the Justice League trailer. Yeah. Come together.
Well, that's clearly an attempt to go in the Guardians of the Galaxy direction, because they're the first one to kind of do that.
It feels just like your dumb kid brothers imitating you.
Yeah.
When you're doing it with like style and class and kind of coolness.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea with the music in the first movie is you find out at the end that mixtape was given to him by his mother, who of course died of cancer, and that's why it's so important to him. There's a part in the movie where he risks his life to go back and get it. At the time, you don't know why. So there's like an emotional reason for the songs. There's a justification for it. It's not just there because, hey, it's fun pop songs.
It's a clever way to include fun pop songs.
Oh, sure, yeah.
In the defense of the Justice League, that is just a trailer.
But they did that shit with Suicide Squad, too. Just like the first 5 minutes of that movie is like 15 pop songs.
Yep. Like I said, your dumb kid brother trying to imitate the older cool brother.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And that movie came out before this, but this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, is very colorful. It made me think of Suicide Squad, because like the trailer for that movie had all these like purples and neon colors and everything, and then it doesn't reflect what's in the movie at all. And this movie uses color very well.
An interesting side note, before a film, I don't think we got, other than Thor Ragnarok, I don't remember seeing any trailers for Wonder Woman, Justice League, anything superhero related.
We had a trailer for some fucking Spanish-American pie ripoff. What was that?
It was Three Idiotos.
Three Idiotos.
Abrázala como si fuera tu novia. Eso, güey. Espérame, estoy. Cabrón, confía en mí, chingado. Espérate. ¡Ay, no mames!
So I would recommend Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I would also recommend Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 because we are brainless Marvel shills who suck Marvel's cock.
It's not because it's a fun or enjoyable movie.
I will make a guarantee to all you out there who call us Marvel fanboys and DC haters. I will give each new DC film a complete open mind, and I will be fair. I have nothing against DC. I do not give a crap.
That's the thing, is like I could not care less if it's Marvel, DC, whatever. You make a good movie, that's what matters.
Yes. Yeah, I'm an old man. I don't care. I just don't care. I just don't want to be miserable and bored. Mm-hmm. This was the first film in a long time that we've gone to see for work, basically, that I was not just like dreading.
Yeah.
I'm serious. And I was just like, hey, I want to see this movie. It's been a long time. So that's a resounding recommendation. And cut. Great, I gotta go. I got a plane to catch.
Are you going to Marvel's headquarters?
Yeah, I got shut the cash!
Well, Jay, now I'm really excited to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, Mr. Plinkett's still there.
Hey guys, I think I finally got it. You want to hear? Okay. Embarking on a roller coaster journey full of action and danger, the Smurfs are on a course that leads to the discovery of the biggest secret in Smurf history. After her boyfriend dumps her on the eve of their exotic vacation, impetuous dreamer Emily Middleton, Amy Schumer, persuades her ultra-cantuous mother, Linda Goldie Hawn, to travel with her to paradise. Polar opposites Emily and Linda realize that working through their differences as mother and daughter in unpredictable, hilarious fashion is the only way to escape the wildly outrageous jungle adventure they have fallen into. Amy Schumer and Goldie Hawn star in the new comedy adventure Snatched, which also features to the universe he created, neighbors, with Wanda Sykes, discover chapter and uncharted paraphrase shows, but is actually in their own discover what they think is a uncharted Parker slash Spider, actually a dangerous who made his sensational Peter Parker slash Spider-Man, his new Peter Parker slash Spider superhero and Spider-Man harrowing escape. A young Peter Parker must murder Mark's hatred with a pair of scissors, destruction, a fancy pair of scissors, sacrifice, handle, murder. He must shove it down her face, rape, harrowing, shove it down her face. A young Peter Parker, shove it down her face, shove it down her face.